Thought I'd jump into a race here, try and do a bit of a live recording this morning. Talking through. There's quite a small field at the moment, a lot of these A races, particularly the A category in the Northern Hemisphere summer months. Bit sparse on riders, but actually 12 isn't too bad, really. So I just thought with a small field, thought we use it as a really good training opportunity and just actually try quite a few attacks. Just hit it hard and see what happens. So it looks like we've got a true flyer there. I just seen a comment in the chat. It said about flagging G-Suck, and he's just holding a steady 8.2. Yeah, okay. Oh, John Worm, very strong rider. This isn't that bad a field actually. Okay, so my thoughts were just gonna make sure I get in that little group there. My thoughts before the start were because there were only like 5 riders signed up, so I was thinking of just attacking hard throughout. Just a bit of training, see how it goes. I mean, this has changed slightly now, the field being slightly bigger, and it's included some good riders. But I mean, you know, a race at 7:10 on a Monday morning with 14 other guys in it, it really doesn't matter if I blow up and go at the back, does it? So I think I'll still try. We'll see how it plays out early on, just during the lead-in, and kind of go from there. And if there's an opportunity, put down a few hard attacks, I will. Then it's also quite possible that I'll just be hanging on anyway. Get on John Worm's wheel here. He looks like he's going across that gap. Okay, so our group is kind of split in two. There's now what? 1, 2, 3, 4 of us at the front here, and there's a 2-second gap to another 3 riders. But it looks like they're going to get back on. Five of us at the front. Feather on anvil. Strange power-ups to have. There you go. Perhaps, because I've got an anvil, what I will do, I'll try and survive this climb, and on a descent the other side, I'll hit the anvil and just give it a bit of power on the downhill and use that as an attacking point rather than actually the climb. I think this group has reformed and we are 1, 2, 3, 5, I think we're 7 riders, 8 riders here. See a couple of guys pushing 6 watts at the front, so let's be part of it. Okay. There's now 3 of us with a bit of a gap. So there's 4 riders have been gapped at 7 seconds. There's 1 sole rider at 2 seconds there. So a little bit of power on this downhill. And those guys at 7, 8 seconds, they'd be gone. Okay, that solo rider has come back. So we're now 4. And my plan now, just as it gets a bit steeper on the downhill, we gain a bit of speed, use my anvil, and I'm going to push it, see if I can super tap. Got a small gap, but it's making them work. Let's super tuck again. Only got a small gap of a second. You can see those guys mid 6 watts per kilo. So I was never getting away from them. But it made them work and didn't really hurt me too much. It was only a short, very short effort for me to get that gap. John Worm's got to do a bit of work here to close. Like, he'll easily get back on. But there were times there that he was briefly going orange numbers. Now I know he is one of the strongest sort of sprinters in the world, really. So it's going to be a tall ask to actually beat him, assuming that I get to the finish. So anything that might hurt his legs and take a little bit out of his sprint is going to be useful. Think I'm going to go on the descent into that tunnel again. I'm going to kick down the descent and then hit it up the other side. Well, I'm saying that, and Campos just gone high 5 watt kilos. Don't need to follow that. There's a attack coming behind. No, he's just closing the gap. Crazy how quickly though, without too much ridiculously high power, with 24-25 seconds ahead of that group behind. And it just shows how a gap can open and really quickly just go out. Okay, follow these guys down here. Bit of speed. Nothing crazy, but just made them close the gap. See, just that little effort there, it made Whitby go orange numbers briefly, so I might be then burning another match. This guy is constantly coming to the front, doing 5.5, something like that, a short period of time, and then backing off like he's doing it now. So they're not true attacks. See, and he's backed off. It's the type of thing that, with such a small group, if people leave it go, then the gap can open. Yeah, every time you up the power, everyone's really alert. I might actually keep this feather because neither power up is particularly useful at the finish, but this one is. Like, if it went crazy pace on this climb, I would have used it, but it really hasn't. So there's a very, very slight incline on the finishing sprint, so at least it would have some use there. I think just as we get that descent, and try and come from the back of the group with a bit of speed coming through the draft, and then hit it a little bit harder as I go clear of them. Get that super tuck and just make them work. And then if, let's drop the back of this. If the gap is such and they're not working and I want to commit, I will. If it comes straight back, I'll then do what I need to do for the sprint. Actually, I was a bit inattentive there, and quite a big gap was opened, but I am rushing the gap here. Super tuck. Oh. Straight on me. I didn't really commit to that, but they were straight on it. I have to say, I've done quite a lot recently, over recent weeks, of just sort of longer stuff. So the benefits have been huge, but I do feel like I haven't quite got, hang on, Let's go with him. Okay, he's backed off. Still need to close the gap though. Yeah, I just feel like I haven't quite got the legs for shorter effort. So, we'll see how that goes now. Like I personally tend to favour a slightly longer sprint. So assuming no one goes in the rides, but I got a funny feeling one of these two riders from the same team are going to go on the climb out of here. But there's no way I would ever be able to beat Worm in a head-to-head drag race sprint. He's just too strong. So I think I'll still look to go long and hopefully just start my sprint a second or two ahead of him. Just to get that jump, okay. But that's not a window and these guys attack. Oh no, they've stopped. Okay, this is dangerous because he's creeping away there. Come on, Worm. See if I can get Worm to come over me. Okay. And hopefully he is going to drag it back. Worms are up to the back. Yes. Okay. I made a decision. I'm quite happy with that. I made a decision kind of midway in that sprint because I could see that rider who'd gone long on the right hand side of the road. So I started my sprint and I was kind of all ready to kind of commit to a all out type sprint then, yeah? Like a drag race type sprint. I was in the drops, kind of going for it with higher power. I glanced up on my screen and I could see that rider on the far right hand side of the road. So I decided to kind of come from my drops up to my hoods where I'd be able to access the steering, and I knew that would drop my sprint power, but I could steer across and try and just catch his draft as I'm approaching the line. So it was a little bit of a sort of a on the fly decision, you know, that maybe wouldn't have worked because obviously my sprint power invariably dropped. I kind of stopping the sprint slightly and steering and going from the hoods, but by actually steering across I thought maybe there's more benefit to try and catch his draft. So it wasn't like an amazing sprint power based on that, but yeah, it seemed to work. So only a small little field, but put in a couple of attacks, nothing crazy, and it was nice to kind of come up against someone who I know is one of the top riders. You know, maybe he's just didn't bother having an off day, but hey, never mind, eh? Time for a nice long spin with Constance or someone now. Perhaps I'll come back and do another one of these races. 8:10. There's another one on here. I might come back and do another one, or I might just have a little ride for an hour or so now.